I'm the son of an Atlanta City police officer. My cousin is an Atlanta City police officer. And my other cousin, East Point police officer. And I got a lot of love and respect for police officers, down to the original 8 police officers in Atlanta that even after becoming police had to dress in a YMCA because white officers didn't want to get dressed with niggas. Here we are 80 years later. I watched a white officer assassinate a black man. And I know that tore your heart out. And I know it's crippling. And I have nothing positive to say in this moment because I don't want to be here. But I'm responsible to be here because it wasn't just Dr. King and people dressed nicely who marched and protested to progress this city and so many other cities. It was people like my grandmother, people like my aunts and uncles, who were members of SCLC and NAACP, and in particular, Reverend James Orange, Mrs. Alice Johnson, and Reverend Love, who we just lost last year. So I'm duty bound to be here to simply say that it is your duty not to burn your own house down for anger with an enemy. It is your duty to fortify your own house so that you may be a house of refuge in times of organization. And now is the time to plot, plan, strategize, organize, and mobilize. It is time to beat up prosecutors you don't like at the voting booth. It is time to hold mayoral offices accountable, chiefs and deputy chiefs. Atlanta is not perfect, but we're a lot better than we ever were, and we're a lot better than cities are. I'm mad as hell. I woke up wanting to see the world burn down yesterday because I'm tired of seeing black men die. He casually put his knee on a human being's neck for 9 minutes as he died like a zebra in the clutch of a lion's jaw. And we watch it like murder porn over and over again. So that's why children are burning to the ground. They don't know what else to do. And it is the responsibility of us to make this better. Right now, we don't want to see one officer charged. We want to see 4 officers prosecuted and sentenced. We don't want to see targets burned. We want to see the system that sets up for systemic racism burnt to the ground. And as I sit here in Georgia, on Stevens, Georgia, former vice president of the Confederacy, white man said that fundamental law stated that whites were naturally the superior race, and the Confederacy was built on a cornerstone. It's called a cornerstone speech. Look it up. The cornerstone speech that blacks would always be subordinate. That officer believed that speech because he killed that man like an animal. In this city, officers have done horrendous things and they have been prosecuted. This city's cut different. In this city, you can find over 50 restaurants owned by black women. I didn't say minority, and I didn't say women of color. So after you burn down your own home, what do you have left but char and ash? CNN? Ted did a great thing. I love CNN, I love Cartoon Network, but I'd like to say to CNN right now, karma's a mother. Stop feeding fear and anger every day. Stop making people feel so fearful. Give them hope. I'm glad they only took down a sign and defaced a building and they're not killing human beings like that policeman did. I'm glad that they only destroyed some brick and mortar and they didn't rip a father from a son. They didn't rip a son from a mother like the policeman did. When a man yells for his mother in duress and pain and she's dead, he is essentially yelling, please God, don't let it happen to me. And we watch that. So my question for us on the other side of this camera is, after it burns, will we be left with charred, or will we rise like a phoenix out of the ashes that Atlanta has always done? Will we use this as a moment to say that we will not do what other cities have done, and in fact, we will get better than we've been. We got good enough to destroy cash money. You don't have to worry about going to jail for some petty. We got smart enough to decriminalize marijuana. How smart are we going to be in the next 15 or 20 years to keep us ahead of this curve? So that much like when South Africa suffered apartheid, you had Andy and other politicians that could make sure that Atlanta said, Coca-Cola, we love you, but if you don't pull out of South Africa, we're not going to drink Coca-Cola anymore. Coca-Cola jumped on their side and apartheid ended. So we have an opportunity now. Because I'm mad, I don't have any good advice. But what I can tell you is that sit in your homes tonight instead of burning your home to the ground. You will have time to properly plot, plan, strategize, and organize and mobilize in an effective way. And two of the most effective ways is first taking your butt to the computer and making sure you fill out your census so that people know who you are and where you are. The next thing is making sure you exercise your political bully power and going to local elections and beating up the politicians that you don't like. You got a prosecutor sent your partner to jail and you know it was bullshit. Put a new prosecutor in there. Now's your election to do it.
On the beat. Howdy.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Breed Shooters, where the show that brings you news, sports, poker, and everything in between. I'm your host, Lou, joined by my very good friend, Chris.
Sir.
And it's a very somber time. The world is pretty much upside down right now. If you've been under a rock and you haven't heard, a police officer in Minneapolis murdered George Floyd. Innocent, well, I won't say innocent, but he was accused of having a fake $20 bill that he used in the store. And the situation got out of hand where officer pressed his knee on George's neck for 9 minutes, killing the guy. And autopsy report just came out that the cause of death was asphyxiation due to the knee pressed on the neck for almost 9 minutes.
Did you? It's funny you rolled into that. The autopsy, the first autopsy by the medical examiner, was he died because of underlying conditions. This autopsy that you just read was performed by an independent
third party, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that angers me a bit, even though after why the two different reports?
You know what it is? It sounds like they were trying to give shoot the cops some bail. Be like, hey,
there you go. And it's not the time for that.
Yeah. No,
it's the time. Go ahead.
No. I mean, listen. The situation in its whole is it's a fucked up situation because, like me and you, we have friends that are cops, and there are good cops out there, and unfortunately, this situation doesn't paint all cops.
No, there are a whole lot of more good cops than they are bad. Yeah. That's for a fact.
But apparently, this particular officer was involved in so much shit. It's like, at what point, as an organization, do you start looking at your personnel and be like, hey, we got a rotten apple. We need to part ways with this guy because he's not here to protect the citizens.
Exactly.
He obviously has an agenda.
Personal agenda.
Yeah, this guy, what I'm hoping from Chris, I think from every negative thing that could be a positive that could come from it, I'm hoping right now that this is the turning point in society with the police department where now I'm hoping that they press charges not only on the guy that murdered the George, but the three other officers that were there. I want that to be the movement now, that you're going to be charged as a group because nobody stood up and said, hey, what you're doing is wrong. I'm not saying I could almost see somebody taking an action because they're caught up in the moment, but that doesn't mean that the person that's with them doesn't see what's going on and doesn't jump in and be like, "Hey, yo, what are you doing? Get your knee off."
And it doesn't even have to be. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lou.
No,
It doesn't even have to be in that tone. Mm-hmm. As a coworker, as a partner, I could go. I said and tell him, whisper in his ear, let me get this. Step back, take a breather, and let me lead by example. This is the problem that we have now. This is the problem we have for the last 4 years. And it goes back. We need leadership because the problem here is me and you know what's right and what's wrong. We know, coming from a minority, background, Puerto Rican, which we are also African, we are Black also. And so we know what's right and what's wrong. We don't need to be told, listen, but there are ignorant people that are very easily swayed by ignorance. And I don't mean to make this into I wasn't up all night, but I ranted a bit. I vented a bit last night on Facebook. And we need a leader to calm situation down, to instead of pouring gasoline in the fire or fanning the fire to make it bigger, throw some water on it. Let's try to contain this, and but it's a horrible situation. Like I said, I'm sorry that I interrupted you, but it's a horrible situation because it's been happening for so long. Mm-hmm. And the only reason we're seeing it now is because of the smartphone. Is because everything is being social media and being taped, and it's horrible. It really is. I'm sorry. Continue. I apologize.
No. So with that being said, you actually brought us to a good point, because I was just watching the news and they were mentioning how I guess the president was having a meeting with all the different governors from different cities, and he was basically lashing out at them, saying, "Hey, you guys are being too soft. We need to take a stronger stance. We got to, basically show the people in control, arrest people, put them in jail for a longer time." And the governor of Illinois came out and said, "But I'm sorry, Mr. President. What you're doing is you're inciting the situation by your words."
Exactly.
He's basically saying, how do you expect us to control the situation if you're exciting people? I said, right now, it's just the anxiety of folks being trapped at home for 2.5 months. You got that with the history now of just the whole racism with the police department and all the attacks that have been happening on African Americans. You bundle that together, it's a recipe for disaster, and you're just gonna add to it. It's gonna explode over in Minnesota. He goes, "Oh, it's a disgrace what happened over there. You guys didn't handle that situation better." And now you have these poor cops. I was hearing stories where cops are getting ambushed. They're getting set up, and people are throwing rocks. And you have instigators that are just trying to keep that racial tension going. So they go into these riots, and they have their own agenda, and they're just trying to prolong the situation, because some people like to live in this misery. They like to see this friction because
exactly
it helps their agenda. But I mean, listen, I don't want to stay here too long, but I just thought Killer Mike, he did a phenomenal job.
He nailed it, and it's horrible that it has to be in under these circumstances. You can see his pain, you can see what he's going through, his passion. It's funny, and like I said, like you said, we want to try to bring some type of light to in these dark times. But I was watching a video. I actually posted on my FB on my Facebook. I'm watching a video. John Jones, the UFC fighter.
Yes, yes.
He was recorded in the streets wherever he lives at, going after two looters, two vandals or whatever. But what's funny about this is you could tell that's John Jones, 6'4", 6'5", big dude. John Jones, UFC GOAT. You know who he's taking? So he said, "Give me that spray can. Give me that spray can." It was two white dudes, Lou. It was two white dudes.
Yeah.
They had masks. Now with the COVID thing, everybody has a mask. So, and on top of that, if you're gonna go loot, the smart looters are gonna wear masks. They're gonna hide their identity. So, I'm not for the looters. I'm not promoting. But like you said, people take advantage, and now they're not gonna. People, what's gonna be the headline on CNN, on the New York Post, on the Wall Street Journal, on the Washington Post? The headline's gonna be African Americans or minorities destroyed city. Meanwhile, it's a mixture of people. I saw another video of a car, 4 white people. Mm-hmm. They pass by a group of black men and they hand the black men 2 bricks. Yeah. They handed them 2 bricks, Lou. And then on top, so a black girl grabs the 2 bricks, goes after the car. How are you gonna give a group of black men in this situation a break? What are you trying to accomplish? And you can see the back and forth. You don't see the faces of the people, but you can see that they're white.
Yeah, but I hear what you're saying, Chris, but I don't even want to bring that to the surface, because also
we're all responsible for our actions.
Because also on the front line, you have a lot of white folks that are doing the right thing, and and you have white and black folks. But you just have people sometimes in the background, and it's not sometimes, it is happening. You have people in the background that are just, taking advantage of the situation. They're looting, it's just
exactly. And it's all racist.
Yeah,
they are taking advantage of this horrible situation to line their pockets. I understand. I just said the thing is that it's a bigger issue.
Yeah,
than what we see.
They're not being sensitive to the times.
Listen, there you go.
People are emotional. Why would you put them in that situation where they're gonna go hurt somebody?
Exactly. Exactly. That same brick could be thrown at a good police officer kill him.
Yeah, exactly. And that guy is a family guy. He's just out
Kids.
there job, and the media has done a great job catching those moments too. There've been great moments where cops are out there, they're kneeling with the folks,
praying, solidarity, yes.
Yeah, but George Floyd's brother, he's from Brooklyn. Floyd. Floyd. He went to Minnesota, and he gave a speech today. He was
wow.
They had a mural.
No, I saw his speech. I didn't know he was from Brooklyn.
Well, he lives in Brooklyn now. I don't know if he's born and raised.
Okay.
But he went out there and he had some very emotional speech. And he said, "Listen, if you don't see me out here looting and going crazy, what are you guys doing?" He goes, "What you're doing here is not gonna bring back my brother." And that's why I play Killer Mike, because Killer Mike's message, that where he hits the home run for me, is at the end. He goes, "This is what when the election time comes, this is what you remember."
Exactly.
The right people in there. He goes, make sure that you fill out your census, that you count, so you could go vote. And that's where you use this, and that's where you educate yourself, and you put the right people that are going to advocate for certain rules, and
And if that person that you put in that seat, because of the power of your vote, if that person doesn't work, get him out. Let's get another one in.
Yeah.
But we're too content on pointing the finger, but what are we doing about it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I was when I heard that, I said, "Man, this is really good." But Chris, so there was a lot of crazy stuff happening just in general with the looting. Anything that stands out to you?
Well, that John Jones thing stood out to me, and also something very, very weird.
What's that?
I've been noticing in oh my God, this is bad, and God help us all. But I've been noticing. I've seen videos, and there's pallets of bricks randomly around cities and corners and shit. Who the fuck? Who the fuck? And Lou, and you know me, we could get into conspiracy theories big time here.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly believe that the guy we have leading the country is horrendous, and he shouldn't be. He should go back to The Apprentice or whatever. But I honestly believe that we're puppets, and these higher ups in all parties, in all sides of the government, and fascist movements, radicals, whatever you want to call them, have a hand. You know, if they're protesters and there's looting going on, what's a brick is your, and they're putting pallets of bricks around. So it's just, and at the end of the day, we're gonna burn the country down, and then the 1%ers, the higher ups, you know, okay, now you know, oh, they did it.
No, but it's crazy now. New York City, they just enforced a curfew, 11 o'clock starting today. Cuomo's they're shutting everything down. Target.
My girl just left because I told her there's a curfew, babe.
I think she's trying to get in before 11.
Listen, you know what? Go ahead, continue, Louis. I'm not gonna.
Target announced that they're closing down a majority of their stores because they don't want to get looted and stuff like that.
Target's getting hit hard.
Quick, let me know. You have to go quick, bro.
So bottom line, justice for Floyd, and I hope they stop looting at some point. If there were more of us, we could go stop them from looting, but it's just us four.
Yo, Chris, I want to share something with you. Tell me if you recognize this person.
Oh, shit. Lou, if it's me, don't put me out there, nigga.
That was J.R. Smith. He was beating down some dude. I guess that was vandalizing near his home, and they caught him on camera. He's just stomping this dude out and freaking punching him. And his man was like,
wow.
"Put away the cameras! Put away the cameras!" Yeah, Chris, this is just crazy, man.
It is, and it's fun. You know what? We're gonna get into. We could still stay in topic, but last night, like I said, I decided to post, and when I post, unlike other people, I post the truth, Lou. I'm that type of F booker.
Hey, by the way, before we go any further, that's a nice shirt, brother. Very nice shirt. I like that.
That's not my Father's Day gift, Lou. Came in early.
Oh, did it? Nice.
That's la resistencia. That's why I wore today. Resistance.
Hey, is that Egyptian silk?
No, you don't even know. 10,000 count thread. You can't. This is worth more than your paycheck. So.
Okay, so you posted on Facebook.
So I started posting on Facebook. Now, mind you, what I was telling you is that at this time, in these times, we need somebody to calm the situation down. We don't need nobody throwing gas. Mm-hmm. And so I posted something about the looters because it was in Charlottesville or Charlotte, that the white protesters a couple of years ago, and they were called, is innocent, great Americans exercising their right to protest. Now, so I posted that, and the gentleman that's in the White House decides to call thugs and whatever. So I posted it. So of course I'm gonna weed them out, Lou. I'm gonna weed them out. Because I know I got a couple of people on Facebook that I know they're undercover bigots, undercover racists. Mm-hmm. They're fucking rats. But I'm not going to block them, Lou. Because the way I this is chess, not checkers. So what I do is I post stuff. Okay. And I let them come to Papa. Come to Papa. Yeah, so I posted a few things, and my cousin Milton, who is an avid Trump supporter, he said something, and then I answered him, and then Lou, oh my God, wait till I tell you this. When I was younger, I used to be part of a gaming clan.
Stop your fucking line. That was only like 8 years ago.
I'm not lying. When I was younger. So
that's another whole episode in itself.
So in this clan, we get to meet people from other parts of the world, other parts of the country. Mm-hmm. So there's this Mexican dude that lives in Corpus Christi, Texas. When I tell you Mexican, Lou, you know how people can look at you and not tell, he could be Dominican, he could be Puerto Rican, he could be, no, you look at this motherfucker, you know he's Mexican. Mm. So what happens? I posted something about the protesters, and he hashtagged on my post, he hashtagged Trump 2020, Milton, come get your boy. So the Mexican dude told my cousin, come get your boy. No, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, and I said, oh my God, if this is not the most oxymoron comment I've heard in so long, and this is what I'm telling you is what I actually wrote to I think his name is Eric. You don't know how hilarious your comment. A Mexican supporting Trump. Meanwhile, his people are being held in cages in the border. He wants to build a wall. So his people, I'm Puerto Rican. I could cut.
Hey, Chris, I think we lost you there, Chris. Yeah. Chris, hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So
there we go.
So you posted on your Facebook.
Posted on my Facebook, and so I tell them, yo, this is an oxymoron. This is the biggest oxymoron I've ever witnessed in my life. A Mexican talking about being a hardcore Trump supporter, and the guy, I guess the guy didn't have a comeback, Lou, and he goes, oh, because you know what it was? Fuck it, I almost forgot the good part. I said, go back to shoveling pig shit or something. I told him something along those lines.
Wow, you were going for the juggler, huh?
And he goes, I'll shovel pig shit, and you're walking and shit over there in New York. I make more money than you. I make more money in a day than you make in a week. And I'm like, whoa, that's your comeback? That's a great comeback. Woo, we got another Facebook millionaire. You know how those guys, they get on social media and they flossing, Lou. Yeah, they're flossing. They still living with their mother in the basement, in a fucking futon. So
meatloaf, Mom, meatloaf.
Meatloaf. So then my cousin decides to chime in and tell him, yo, I don't think you know what you're talking about. But I already had gotten in. I already had answered my cousin. We went back and forth. So, and the kids shut up. Oh, then he says, these Democrats. And I see, that's how stupid you are. I told them. It's not about being Democrat or Republican. It's the bigger picture. Listen, at the end of the day, they're all puppets. But what you're not understanding is, at this moment, we need somebody to calm the situation down, not incite. So I went at him. Then this other dude from the gaming clan when I was younger. The shit that was happening, look, they were focusing on the looting, and they didn't read my caption. It's not about the looting. It's bigger than that. It's so. Long story short, I went in yesterday. I don't hardly go into Facebook, but yesterday I went in, and every time that who wrote on my feed pro Trump? Waldo.
As Waldo?
Yeah, is Waldo ain't he like Guatemalan or something?
No, he's I think he's Dominican and Puerto Rican. He might be mixed.
Oh my God. So he was another one focusing on the looting. So I'm saying, you guys can't be this stupid. I told him straight out. You guys, and I was talking about my cousin, I was talking about Waldo, I was talking about Kenny and Eric and anybody who posted it and stay focused on the looting. I said, of course, because they said, because Waldo told me, Chris, if somebody comes to your house, I know you. If somebody comes to your house and they're going to loot, I know what you're going to do. I know you. I said, that's not the point. Of course I'm going to protect my house. I'm going to protect my family. What I'm trying to tell you is the bigger picture is this is not supposed to be happening. And since it is happening, we need somebody, the most powerful man in the country and maybe in the world, as scary as that might sound, to shed some peace, some light on the situation to try to calm it down. Bullshit me. I don't care. Tell me a fairy tale, but calm the situation down.
Yeah, no, this boy talking about bringing in the National Guards and just escalating it. I'm like, yo, dude, let's go up there and get in front of it. Let's talk. Let's try to calm people down. Get the right people, the right activists out there to try to calm communities down. And that's how you attack it.
You want to laugh, Lou? Check this out. So I just saw him. He just like an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago, he addressed the nation saying that the governors need to, stop being weak and all that, right? So, and then to end his speech, his press conference or whatever you want to call it, he goes, "I'm gonna go now because I have to pay my respect to a very important place." Bye. He turns around and he leaves. You know where he was going? Across the street from the White House to a church. The White House is filled with protesters, peaceful protesters. He used the military to get all the fucking peaceful protesters out so he could go and pose with a Bible in front of the church. And I just saw Michael Rappaport say, What? Look at Dick Stain. Look at Dick Stain Trump. Holding up. What are you holding up? Thou shalt not grab the pussy. Grab the pussy. Yeah. He went in. So Cuomo tweeted this about an hour ago. Sorry, I gotta put my Tom Fords on. Huh? The president is right?
Skeet.
The president, this is Cuomo. The president is calling out American military against American citizens. He used the military to push out peaceful protests so he could have a photo op at a church. It's all a reality TV show for this president. Shameful. That's what Cuomo's doing a great job. And once again, Cuomo might be lying to me. But right now, I'm taking off my panties for Cuomo, Louis.
I knew you
I
were.
don't care.
I knew you were. Speaking of that, actually, 50 Cent is like, yo, Cuomo better run for president. But he goes, not right now. Let's get through this. And then he should definitely throw his hat in the ring because, listen, like you said, Chris, even if it's bullshit, but you got to have a way to calm the masses.
Calm the masses down.
Calm the masses, especially during a time like this with the intensity and everybody's just at a heightened level, man. It's like, yo,
Yeah.
you got to bring it down. Everything's going to be all right. But, Chris, I'm sorry, you finished or you?
Yeah, no.
You brought us in a great segue.
And listen, I'll take the whole hour of the podcast if you let me, because I went in on these motherfuckers. But go ahead. I call them sheep, Lou. I call them sheep.
And I'm so glad Chris brought us to this point. So me and Chris were talking. And it's like, you know what, Chris? Everybody loves your rants, but at the same time, we have a segment of listeners that really want to get at Chris. And so we decided to come up with a competition. So I'm going to take this moment now, Chris, to introduce our competition. It's called the Chris Roast Challenge. Let me bring it up. Yeah, come on, Chris.
Oh, we started? Oh, okay. Yo, why you got to put that picture up? Go.
All right, so let me. So the challenge is called the Chris Roast Challenge. Quite simply, if you want to be in the challenge, all you got to do is, if you have an iPhone, go to your pictures, put it on video, and take a 3-minute video. It can't be a 40-minute video. It has to be a 3-minute video. You'll send the video to reeshooters@yahoo.com. All right? Rules of engagement. I got to make it real clear. Rule number 1, no matter how tempting or deserving, girlfriends are off limits. You can't talk about girlfriends. Rule number 2, don't be an ass. Don't go personal and talk about family members and stuff like that. Let's focus on Chris and Chris only. All right? Keep the attacks to Chris only. And then rule number 3, have a little mercy. If at a minute and 30 seconds you got the jugular, fall back.
I don't want mercy. Scratch that. That last one, scratch it.
All right,
I want them to bring it.
Okay. And then rule number 4, Chris will have the floor last to respond. Only engage if you're willing to receive, because if not, I'm letting you know up front, Chris has the floor, and he will have the last word. So, Sharon,
it's like a roast. Your roast is a roast. Yeah. The roastee gets to roast them at the end, of course. Yeah. Even though you didn't run this by me, Lou, it's a great idea. I love it.
And like a traditional roast, like Chris said, the roastee gets to have the last parting shots. Now, with that being said, today is June 1st, Monday, June 1st. We want to try to get everything in by June 5th, which is Friday, because I would like to have it up by early next week. Send me the video clips. Again, do not go over 5 minutes, because you're going to find it's going to be hard to send it. If you're having problems, then, shoot me an email.
Jerk off. Every time we FaceTime, you're fucking taking snap pictures. You better relax with that shit. I could sue you for this shit.
Look at that picture.
Go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Bane.
I'm just looking at my. I look like a fucked up Bane. A crackhead Bane.
Yeah. So listen, all those people out there all those people that played ball with Chris, couldn't stand them, had funny stories. Any embarrassing stories, please bring it forward. Please bring it forward.
I don't have nothing. I challenge anybody.
I'm gonna send
Fuck, Tarzan, Macho, Boom,
people out.
Anybody who wants to smoke, come get the smoke.
Oh, yeah, I noticed you to say Milton.
Milton too. I don't give a fuck.
I know you didn't say Eric from Texas.
Yo, no, look, that guy's like a cheeseburger slider away from a heart attack. But no, Eric, you too. He doesn't know me, but like it is what it is.
Yeah, so we're putting it out there. It's the Chris Roast Challenge. I think I have a lot of faith in our listeners that we'll get some funny clips and we'll be able to put something very entertaining for the masses. And get creative. You want to use props, things like that. You want to use other people to confirm your stories, by all means. And even family members that want to get at Chris, family members are welcome too. You got a brother in Puerto Rico, Chris's mom. You're all welcome to get in on this.
I'm telling you, anybody who wants to smoke, come get it.
That's Pop Smoke right there, boy.
It's a lot of smoke.
Hey, Chris, I'm gonna filibust real quick. I'll give you a minute to
go ahead. Do what you gotta do.
Junior from Sunset Park. What's up, brother? I seen you on Facebook and you've been really active out there with the protests and stuff like that. That's a great thing, brother. My only thing for you is just be careful. I see you're doing the right thing. Just don't get caught up. Try not to get caught up in crowds where they're just acting buck wild. Stay safe because it is getting a little crazy out there and dangerous. And any other protesters that I didn't mention, please be safe and understand at the end of the day is just delivering the message. We want you guys to get home safe and stay away from looting, man. I'm telling you, especially mom and pop, man. They already been through too much, these businesses, and losing whatever they have now is just going to be unbearable for them to recover from.
To come back. The COVID, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the COVID brought these mom and pop stores, businesses to their knees. It's going to be hard for them to get out, if not acquiring more debt.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that we're inciting go, we're not promoting go hit the bigger targets, but don't loot at all. But if you feel the urge, just stay away from the mom and pops. They've been through it and they sacrifice a lot to get the business that they have.
And keep in mind, it's not free goods, brother. Cops are looking at video footage. It will take time, but trust me, a good portion of people will get arrested. They will get arrested. I was watching CNN, and Chris, like I told you, I was watching CNN, and they're looting the Adidas store. And, I want to say like 1,000 motherfuckers going in and out, coming out with boxes of sneakers, right? But everybody got the face mask, so you really can't see the face. So then leave it to a Latino. One Latino pulls up in front. Him and his boy, they pull up in the car, they run out, boom. They come out with the big boxes. And as they're loading their car up, right, they're rushing, the camera that's capturing everything pans back maybe a quarter of an inch. The guy's license plate is right there on full display. So these guys like, yo, we good. So when they got home, Kyle's, all right, buddy, come on, let's go. Wise ass.
Listen to me. Best thing they could do, and I hate to say this, but best thing to do is torch your car. And when they come knocking on your door, just say, listen, my car was stolen. This is crazy.
But that is you in the picture, sir.
I don't know. I don't think that's me. You ready for me, Lou, or no?
Yeah, go ahead, Chris. It's all yours.
Reckoning. It's a noun. When we have to deal with the consequences of our actions, I think that's appropriate for the times that we're living right now.
With that being said, everybody be careful, be safe out there, adhere to the curfew. Don't give nobody a reason to put you up against a wall, man. Go home. The safest place to go home. All right? Peace.
Later, peace.
George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Later.